Okay, so like what does that look like? Trust, believing God. I think about that like as a parent. Like when I say something, when I say anything, my kids believe me because they trust me. I think there is a difference between believing God and believing in God. Okay, I have another early morning deep thought. I think there is a difference between believing God and believing in God. I'm gonna try not to be too loud because I have 3 humans upstairs sleeping. Believing in God versus believing God. There is a difference. I think a lot of us believe in God, meaning, well, this is what I think it means. I think that means that we believe in what He can do because we're so like driven by what we do. Even one of my favorite questions on one of my story cards actually is, who are you as a human being versus a human doing? Okay, so we are so wrapped up in doing. We're wrapped up in doing to the point that's sometimes how we even define ourselves. We define ourselves as a doctor, a lawyer, a writer, whatever, right? We define ourselves by what we do. And so when we believe in God, it's almost like we're just believing in what He can do. We're believing in His ability, we're believing in His power, and we're doing that. Why? Oftentimes because we want something out of it. That's selfish. Now that I'm like thinking about it, like that's what we do. We believe in God. We believe in what He can do. We believe in His power. We believe in His ability to change our situation because He is all powerful, all knowing, right? We believe in God. And there's nothing wrong with that. We should be believing in God. However, believing God, for some reason, I think that there's a different power with that, a different way of living when we believe God, when we believe who He says He is, when we're not just wishful thinking and hoping He will change our situations around, but when we believe God, that comes with trusting God. What is that? Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. And 6. Lean not to thine own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. How do we let's look at that verse. How do we carry that verse out? Trusting God with all thy heart. That's believing God. That's first. That's the first part of that verse that everybody always quotes, or those verses. Trusting God with all thine heart. Lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. That's after. So what we do, how our life is going to go, how we want God to move our lives, that's only going to happen if we trust in Him, if we believe God, if we believe in who He is, if we believe Him. I am the Lord thy God. If we believe I am who I say I am, if we believe Him. And okay, so like what does that look like? Trust, believing God. I think about that like as a parent. Like when I say something, when I say anything, my kids believe me because they trust me, because they know me, because they know who I am. They know that for the most part, I'm going to follow what I say. They trust me. They trust me. So if I take me and I believe God, my Father, I believe Him, I'm going to trust Him. I'm going to know Him. I'm going to get to know Him. I'm going to build a relationship with Him. I'm not going to leave my relationship at just what can He do for me, believing in His power, believing in Him, but I'm also going to believe Him in who He is. I don't know, I have more thoughts about this, but it's first thing in the morning, and that was what came up. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I can think this through more, but that's all I got right now. Believing God is trusting Him, is knowing who He is trusting His word, what He says, knowing of His power. And then believing in God is believing in His ability and what He can do and what He has done and what He will do. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm probably gonna think through this some more. You'll probably see my face in this dress again sometime later in another video. But that's what I got right now. All right. Old school. We don't have no kettle over here. Pouring skills.